This tiny camera has been showing up everywhere. I've been seeing a lot of content creators shifting to smaller cameras like the DJI Action 4 and the newer Action 5. And I get it. I've been using the DJI Action 4 for some time now, and it's just handy. It just works. And it's got me thinking, are the DJI Action 4 and Action 5 the new king of vlogging setups? So let's talk about why a lot of content creators are shifting to smaller setups like the Action 4 and the Action 5. We're going to go through 6 reasons why creators are shifting over. Now, in the past, when you'd vlog, it meant that you'd have an actual camera, like I'm using an A7 III here, or a similar setup, Initially, when vlogging started, people were using smaller cameras like their phone cameras, but the image quality wasn't that good. So to get a better image quality, they'd shift to something like this, full frame, or at least APS-C. They may have a gimbal, they may have a tripod, but the point is they had a setup, and it was big. So they'd have a big setup, they'd have a mic attached, and that's great and all, the image quality is great, but the Action 4 came out, and there are a lot of amazing things this thing can do. Which takes us to number 1 is the stabilization. The stabilization on this feels like you're cheating. You don't need a gimbal. You can handhold it. You don't even need steady hands. It just works. Rock steady, horizon balance. Personally, I use horizon balance, and it's amazing. The thing works. Number 2 would be the surprisingly good image quality that you get out of this thing. Now, we'll be fair, this is not an APS-C or full frame sensor, so you're not gonna get mind-blowing low light performance. You're not gonna get that nice shallow depth of field, but it does work for what it does. It's a wide angle lens that gives you 4K images. You can get up to 4K video, and you can then get up to 120 FPS on this. It's just amazing for what it is. Now, number 3 would be what makes this such a quick setup is the magnetic mount. This thing, you need something set up, you can just mount it here and you're good to go, right? You need to transfer it over, you can just disconnect that and transfer it to another mount and you're good to go. And all you need would be something like this. Let me go get that here. So you'd have something like this mounted onto your tripod with the quarter 20 tripod mount. So you screw that onto your tripod and you can have this ready to go. If you need to be mobile, you can just remove that, get your monopod, plug that in, and you're good to go. So it's fast. It makes your setup very quick. Number 4 is probably an important feature, well, not for everyone, but for some vloggers. It's small, it's compact, it's discreet. For all the features that you get amazing video, you got stabilization, and it's in a small form factor where you're not grabbing attention. You don't have eyes on you. And the problem is when you have a bigger setup, people will stare, people will look at you, and they won't act natural. And there are places where you want to vlog, but you don't want to attract attention. And that's what this thing is good at. Reason number 5 is the usable audio you get with this thing. Now, straight out the box, you can use the camera and the audio you get is good. It's not mind-blowingly good, it's not amazing, but it's very usable. There's really nothing to complain about. Now, if you want better audio, you can pair it up with the DJI mics, but if you're looking to save save some money, you could get a USB-C microphone that attaches to the USB-C. This Godox MoveLink Mini, I've got it currently on my A7 III, but pairs no problem with the DJI, and you get great audio. So for a camera this size, and all its features, that's already pretty amazing. But there is a 6th reason why this is so good, is because the battery life on this thing is phenomenal. The Action 4 gives me about 40 to 50 minutes, depending if I'm shooting 1080 or 2K or 4K, right? But let's say, be generous and say it gives us about 40-45 minutes of record time on 4K. That's not bad on one battery, and this thing comes with 3 batteries. So just on 3 batteries, I'm getting roughly an hour, just over 2 hours worth of video. And I've never run out of battery just like that, you know. An hour is a long time. To have an hour's worth of battery for shooting video in 4K is a long time. And if your battery is low, you just have to switch it out. It's easy to switch out. So let's talk about its limitations. And you know, honestly, this thing is amazing for what it can do, but it's not flawless. Again, it's a smaller sensor. It's amazing in what you could do with low light, but again, it's not full frame. So if you really need to shoot in low light, you don't want to go beyond ISO 800 is what I would suggest. Aside from that though is the wide angle lens. You're fixed at a wide angle lens. It does have a narrower, you can select the FOV, and it does have a narrower dewarped FOV, but it's still pretty much wide. I believe that's at 16 millimeters for a full frame equivalent. But you are shooting 4K, so you can crop in, and that gives you, if you crop in about 100%, you're still at 1080, and that gives you something like a 24 millimeter focal range. So it's still not bad. You do have that limitation in terms of the minimum focusing distance, but we've solved that with what filters we can attach. But that's really it. Aside from those limitations in terms of the minimum focus distance, the wide angle lens, and that the low light performance, which is again pretty good, those don't matter for a lot of people out there. If you're documenting your travel, if you're a vlogger, if you're shooting out in daylight, a lot of these things don't matter. And if you're talking to the camera, this is pretty great. You got everything that you need here. So yeah, I honestly think the Action 4 and the Action 5 is the king of vlogging setups over something like, say, the Pocket 3, mainly because you don't need to be so careful with the gimbal, with any moving parts, right? It is slightly larger, you've got moving parts. This is a lot more rugged. It does have, it is water resistant, so that's a plus compared to the Pocket 3. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment. Do you use a similar setup? Are you using the Action 4, the Action 5? Or are you using a totally different setup? Do you agree with me, disagree? Comment down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.